2025, 2025, 2025. It's a perfect podcast. I've wasted my voice doing this podcasting thing, but as you can tell, my voice is already shot as it is. We have massive breaking news on this Rings and Rambles from Sportskeeda Wrestling about a huge name returning to WWE just in time for their massive Netflix debut. And we mean huge, okay? Yes. This one was expected. We'll get to it. And it's not the only name. She is not the only name that you were expecting here. We'll get to that. And your 2025 wrestling predictions. WWE is going to be on Netflix. Want to hear from you guys here. We already have people talking about what's going on after AEW's Big Fight for the Fallen show. They're on a streaming platform finally, a legitimate direct-to-consumer one outside of Triller. They're going to be on Max. People saying huge. Yes, it is huge. Nathaniel saying, I think I rated FTR will win the Trios Championships. Kevin, do you agree? Yes, I wouldn't put that past AEW at this point. I'm going to get to all you guys on this here. Want to hear from you guys. Yes, a massive breaking news story developing from WrestleVotes. Link for you guys that are watching on YouTube to subscribe to Backstage Pass for as low as $5 a month. $5 a month, you can get a free week. Also, we're now offering, we kind of dragged our feet, but we wanted to know if enough people wanted to do this, and it seems like enough people want to, as we're offering memberships now. I know some people have this on YouTube. They're so YouTube-centric. We do have YouTube memberships. They're going to start at just $2 a month. You'll get a lot of bonus content, including the great show we're doing with JBL and Gerald Briscoe. We're now offering a free episode of that up for free on our main presentation on YouTube with Eric Bischoff on the show as well. Talking about can AEW ever compete with WWE? That's a critical question they kind of dig into. That is up on the main channel. So plug. Let's get into the real stories, and let's get into what you guys want to talk about. I'm excited for this. So WWE Netflix, have you heard about this, Nick? Nick Harksen joining me in Sacramento, California. I'm Kevin Kellam. We've gone for 2 minutes. I haven't said our names. Also hit the like button. They get mad at me. I don't say that in the first 2 or 3 minutes. Just slam that. Nick, this big return that we were expecting, Backstage Pass reporting this today with WrestleVotes. Shout out to them. Tip of the cap to WVTC. Tip of the cap. Becky Lynch is coming back to WWE. We've known this for quite some time. It was expected. It is a big story. I know some people are saying it's not a big story just because they knew about it for a while, but now we kind of know for sure it is happening. And she's expected to have a major role in this year's WrestleMania in Las Vegas.
Was definitely expecting this. I'm excited for it. Saw the commercials leading up to Raw on Netflix, which are pretty well put together, by the way, and Becky Lynch was on one of them, so it's like, okay, we're getting Big Bex back, we're getting the man back, and this is good news. I kind of had a feeling that she would have huge plans when she comes back. She's done great things for the company. She lost the title and then left. Liv Morgan retired her, is what she likes to say. So I mean, her last match in WWE was a title match. She's going to be right back into the picture. And it's, we're going to talk about predictions later. I'll get into that. I have a prediction for Becky Lynch later on in the show that we will get into. But great to have her back in the women's division. And not a shocker to me at all that they have WrestleMania plans for big time Bex.
Absolutely. Want you guys to hammer the like button here. Hammer it up. Get on there. I know a lot of you guys watching on demand as well. So if you're joining us on demand on YouTube, we see a lot of you guys as well. I want to hear from you guys in the comments, and just join us in the comments, all the good stuff. Give us your wrestling predictions for 2025. I will jump into those comments after the show is live. Nice. But are you excited for Becky Lynch back in the mix for WWE? I think it's a fresh thing. You're going to see some matches you've seen her have before. We've seen her do Rhea and Becky. That was WrestleMania last year. That was a crowning moment for Rhea. Rhea, also had a crowning moment the previous year on WrestleMania. But I do think there is some room and equity in this WWE now with multiple new titles involved.
Very true.
To bring in somebody like this and have them get back in the mix. Now, Brian Pearson brings up a great thing here. Another name that we're expecting is Charlotte Flair. And Charlotte Flair has been expected and has been healthy and training for an in-ring comeback. It is not a secret. It is something she has alluded to quite heavily on, social media. Are we expecting something from her within the time frame of this? You know, are we expecting that this is something that's going to, you know, create a collision path for two people that really, really don't like each other? It's well documented, the history between them. They had a big Survivor Series match where there was a lot of contention before that match. There was the promo apparently where they were doing business against each other and not with each other. That was reported. You know, I think a Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch match away from a title is a money match for WrestleMania this year. That is it's a match you've done before, but it's a personal issue that I don't think is resolved. And I think it would be a very, very cool thing to do. I think if you got Bailey involved, that'd be the way to do it. But that's just me fantasy booking. I got to reel myself in here. I want to stay on Nathaniel Crenshaw. Thank you, Nathaniel. You're riding hard with this, Nathaniel. I appreciate it. Yes, does Becky face Liv Morgan when she comes back? Well, you would think so, because Liv is the person that she faced in her final match when her career ran up. She was in that tag team that cage match where Dom interfered, and then a couple days before, she did the big money match against Liv and dropped the title, and that was all really just a setup for Liv with Rhea, and for a way to effectively within the ring in kayfabe terms write Becky Lynch out of the picture. Interesting to say the least. I think she could go after Liv. And also, after you figure out this whole Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley thing at the Netflix debut, which they're selling as the final time that they're going to face each other.
This has to end now.
And they were hammering that down in the video package this week. They were hammering that. And we'll talk heavily about this Netflix show here in our next segment. I think Liv and Rhea would be the smart way to go. Now, if you're going that way, I think if Becky wants her title back, she comes back and she wants the title back right away. But is it that easy to just be gone for months and months at a time and then come back for the belt?
No way. Can I just give one of my predictions for the year right now?
Were you jumping? Come on, you're opening your Christmas presents early.
Okay, I'll wait for it. But I'll just say it's right along these lines what we're talking about right now. Yes, I definitely think Becky's going to go after Lynch for the or Becky's going to go after Lynch. Becky's going to go after Liv for the title eventually. Yes.
All right. That's okay. We're already on the topic.
I got more. I got more on it though. That's just a little spoiler. It's not the full thing. Okay.
Another exclusive from Backstage Pass today is another major name that I guess we would expect back this time of year. Is Randy Orton. A return by Randy Orton is expected at some point within the foreseeable future, and that he will be on the road to WrestleMania. Certainly interesting to see how it would be here. People also bring up that Becky Lynch is doing the new Star Trek show, so she may have already shot that.
Yes.
So she's gonna have an acting role in that. Steve's here asking this one. Steve wants to know, where will SmackDown air in Canada on Fridays? I believe you're going to get that on Netflix.
Netflix is what I think, yeah.
Yeah, so outside the United States, it's going to be all like a one-stop shop, and everything's on Netflix, one stop. They certainly paid a lot of money for it, So, want to hear from you guys on all these different topics. People saying Go Lions. They're with you on the Go Lions.
Hey, Go Lions, Ozzy. Thank you.
So Randy Orton back in the mix. Where do you put Randy? What do you do with Randy when he comes back? You got to go easy going right after Kevin Owens?
It kind of seems like that's what they were alluding to before, he kind of left for a little bit. And I think that he wants to go after Cody as well. I know that they're friends and everything, but they've kind of been, teasing him every single time that he's like, okay, I'm going to do this now, but I'm coming for you later. And he's always staring at the belt. It's like, I think that
a heel turn people have wanted from Randy for a while, right?
Yes, I think it's coming, and he's gonna wreck shop. He's gonna be one of those heels that everybody loves at the same time, to where he's just no friends, and everybody's the enemy. I see him coming back in that kind of way.
Yeah, and once again, for all these big stories, you guys can get Backstage Pass. I'm going to drop the link. Subscribe to Backstage Pass. I'm going to drop that for you guys in the chat. You guys can get that as well. First week for free. Go ahead and give it a shot. Let me know what you guys think of it. WrestleVotes is my favorite thing on it. I absolutely love WrestleVotes. Listening to that right before we go live is my favorite thing.
Yeah, they have some great insight there.
Want to hear from more of you guys as well. Becky doing the Rock move because The Rock was on Star Trek. All right, we get it, Ozzy. You're a Trekkie. We get it. You're a Trekkie. I'm not going to Live long. See, I almost did it wrong, but I just got to remember Vader. Live long and prosper. Pro wrestling. Yes. Want to jump into all the different topics we're covering, but I mean, I think the main source of conversation this week has been all hands on deck with WWE.
Yes,
it's certainly the final Raw on the USA Network, which I thought they did a good job of making it feel like a massive go home show. This felt like you need to see what happens next week. Next week may as well be a pay-per-view. When we're on Netflix, that is a pay-per-view. You know, like you are Reigns versus Solo for the Tribal Chief. You're getting that. You're getting Punk versus Rollins, a match you could put on WrestleMania, a match we thought we were going to get on WrestleMania. You're going to get Liv versus Rhea, final time. You're getting John Cena. There's a lot of expectations The Rock will be there. All right?
Yeah.
They already moved the women's Intercontinental Tournament final. They moved it off of the show, which I thought was smart because it could get lost in the mix. You're getting Travis Scott on the show, a popular rapper. You're going to get a lot of celebrities, I think, on the show because it's in LA, and I think that's the idea. This is going to be a massive deal. I think this is a big, big deal by WWE. I don't think we're even done. It's Thursday. I expect a lot more of a media rollout even over the weekend. I think I would not surprise me if you see them doing some localized interviews just with media there, even though the show is really, really well sold. I think it's almost sold out the last time I checked. So, I mean, and if it wasn't sold out, they were going to sell it out. So what are your expectations with this? Because the expectations, I think, get higher and higher by the day. And that's kind of what you want with WWE. You build expectation, you try and deliver on it, and you sell before you deliver the expectation, right? That's the payoff.
Yeah, I mean, my expectations are through the roof just because of how they've presented this, coming up. And we have Penta coming back.
Yes, I didn't want to forget everything, but there's just so much on the show, and it's going to be 3 hours. It would be crazy if they tried to cram this into 2.
It would be insane, but I'm looking forward to the Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre match as well. To me, this feels like a big PLEs, like a little bit bigger than some of the smaller ones. This feels like one of the main 4. This one is massive, and this is the only way you can do it. Though, when you're moving networks, you want all eyes on you. They want to make Netflix feel good about having this deal with them, so of course they're going to make it massive. And my expectations are through the roof for the first few weeks. I think even in San Jose the following week, it's going to be another banger. And I love it. This is the only way that you can come to a new network. You might as well throw all the chips on the table and let it be known. We're going to get some eyes on wrestling that haven't been on there in a long time for this one. So of course they're going to go all out, and I cannot wait. I've been, biting my nails. It's itching for this for a whole week now. It's only been, what is it? Thursday? My goodness. Monday, get here.
Yes. And we got to see if we can do a live. We haven't done a live thing during a Monday Night Raw. You and I were kind of talking about that. If you guys want us to go live during Monday Night Raw and just react to things, I think that'd be fun too. So
I'm definitely
all right. Oh, our very own Ankit. How you doing, Ankit? Ankit's awesome. Ankit is one of our producers. He does such great work on our channel and works really, really hard on it. I love this. Thank you, Ankit, because Ankit, this was in my notes, by the way, so don't think I wasn't going to bring this up. Our producer wanted to make sure that we were going to follow up on some things here. A big selling point, as we mentioned, was Punk versus Rollins on this show. For me, it is the thing I need to see on this show. It is a match. You're going to have promos. We're going to have a lot of WrestleMania storylines, probably similar start. We're going to have some hype for the Royal Rumble. Cody said he's going to be on the show too. So it'd be kind of weird if he wasn't, right? Even though he's a SmackDown guy. But Ankit wants to know, what do you guys think of Punk versus Rollins and their promo on Raw? That's a promo. Yes. That was a certified. I know some people say, oh, I like promos that have a little bit of realism. There was a ton of it in this. There was a lot of it dripping off of the screen. These are two guys who I can tell you myself, from talking to one of the men that was on screen, do not like each other. But I feel, as we saw, I think they respect each other to understand people want to see this match. We're professional wrestlers. We're not just wrestling guys. We're professional wrestlers at the highest level, and we're going to give people the thing they want. We're going to walk up to the line. We're going to point at things that we don't like about each other. We're going to understand that that is business. We're going to keep it business. We're going to go out there and we're going to do business, and we're going to make people want to see this again. I don't think this is the only time we see Rollins versus Punk.
No.
We'll get to whether or not we think someone's going to win. But I think the promo did a great job of hinting at some things. When you have a good promo, and you know this in terms of like a face-to-face promo, it's good when people start asking who won the promo. Very few times do people do that with a wrestling promo where they say, oh, this was good, or this was all right. People were talking about that. That is how Raw ended its run on USA Network. They didn't end with a big match and thank you, USA Network. No, they ended with the business they know they have to do. Sell the next show. Sell where we're going to be. Thank you, USA Network. We're going to be here with Raw, but goddamn, do you need to see Punk and Rollins get their hands on each other? And look how much they held back. Ooh, they were seething. And they sold the words that each other said as if they were fighting physically.
Oh, yeah.
This, it's a great promo when people ask who won the promo. I'm of the thought, this is me being biased in a Chicago. And when I talk about the person that I spoke to that was on that screen that I believed that they don't like the other person, that was Seth Rollins. I did an interview with him 5 years ago. I've talked about it too many times. Look at me connecting myself to the story. I will share it on my Twitter if you haven't seen it. It is one of the coolest things I've ever done. Because in that interview, Rollins just went off. We were gonna touch on it, but it was like, all right, he went off. Once he said, let's do business. Okay, I know what that means. In business, they understood where things are real, but once the bell rings, we can make money. And Punk said, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money.
Yep.
Making money, people take that as he's just a selfish guy who just wants to get paid. No. He understands he can put on great matches and great stories. And I'm going to give you the stories you want. The story we've always wanted with Punk. We got him and Drew, and it worked.
Yep.
And I think it'll be regarded as one of the best feuds of the year. We always wanted Rollins versus him.
Yeah, that was the plan from day one.
I'm going back and forth. It was there. The history is there. He debuts as a henchman for Punk, basically, and becomes the locker room leader while Punk is gone, talking crap about them. I loved how that was brought up. They mentioned the podcast with him and Cole Cabana, which was the biggest story. They mentioned all these things that if you're a hardcore fan, right? Now, if you're a casual fan, you're like, whoa, and they did enough that would make you, even if you were just, you don't follow, you don't know what a Fightful is, you don't know what a Sportskeeda is, you just tune on Monday Night Raw. Didn't you get the sense they did enough for the casual fan and a whole lot for the hardcore fan to make you think, God damn, I need to see this match? Who won the promo battle? You could say Punk. You could say him, just in terms of like barbs and things that he hit. But Rollins had some wow moments. You're gonna bring up my wife? You're gonna bring up my wife, dude? Oh, you bring up your Iowa Hawk, I think. Did you love the line when he said, "You're gonna bring up my wife? How my wife is gone? My wife's busy raising a kid. Do you and your wife know what that's like?" I was like, whoa.
I couldn't believe it.
There is, our very own Chris Featherstone got the scoop.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I sent this to you, that there was going to be a little bit more of a sense of guys going on. They know what their points are, and they know what they have to hit, and it's not hard scripted lines. And with a guy like CM Punk, and especially a guy with Seth Rollins, hey, we need you to get this, this, and this in. Go. You have this amount of time. Those are guys who are not going to follow much of a script. So,
right.
What did you think? What did you think of it? I loved it. I thought it was one of the best go home promos I've seen WWE do in a while.
Yeah, 100% agree. I loved every second of it. Calling each other little brother. Oh, stop that little brother stuff. I'm the big brother now. All this stuff. It was great. And to your point, how they did reel in casual fans. My lady was out here watching it with me. And when she heard that whole line about, my daughter, everything, she was like, whoa, what? Whoa. And
there were a lot of women.
Yeah.
There were a lot of women that I know that are wrestling fans who had an opinion about that. There was a primal calling of hormones to another woman. How dare you bring up the wives, right?
Yep.
And then everyone's like, oh, AJ Lee's going to come back to WWE and Becky Lynch is going to be there. And you can do Becky Lynch and Rollins versus, they were You can do that match, and it's a hell of a match if you do it, by the way, too.
So,
I want to know, who did you guys think won? Steve is in here saying Seth Punk and Drew Punk storyline is the reason why I love professional wrestling. You know, a lot of people went off on Punk and saying that he was unprofessional in the AEW stuff, and Rollins brought that up. Rollins said the competition.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yes,
When he said the competition, that is a top guy in WWE. He didn't say AEW, but he referenced the competition. That is WWE acknowledging AEW as the competition, which under the previous administration would never happen. It would, like, I remember Sami Zayn got read a riot act when he brought up AEW in a promo on Raw. And he has said that that was under the previous administration. And he probably, I don't think he got fined, but he definitely didn't, leave that unscathed, right?
Right.
But the fact that, that would have never happened.
Never.
You would have never even gone within 10 feet of referring to what you would say you went somewhere else and made a big bag of money, right?
Right.
That was like, you could hear people like before he even finished the sentence.
Yep. It was big. It's big. Yeah, because
pick a side. Who won it? Was it Rollins and Punk? I want to hear from people watching live. Let me know. On demand, you guys let us know as well.
You asking me to pick a side?
Pick a side.
I mean, I'm just gonna counter you just because I'm going with my hometown hero. I'm going with the Davenport, Iowa guy, Seth freaking Rollins, baby. Seth freaking Rollins.
Good for you. You feel good about yourself. That's nice. Doesn't mean you're right.
Hey, I think that it was a great promo.
I'm a total ass, dude. I'm a total ass.
I was definitely being biased right there. Just to say that I'm 100% being biased. I loved it back and forth. It's great for wrestling, and I cannot wait for this match. Do you think that this is the main event on Monday night? Do you think
it's hard to say what's going to be the main event or what's going to be the closing thing on the show? You also have Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa on the show. You have a very, very rare Roman Reigns match. I know everyone who's a mark for Roman, and some people think I'm not. I oppose him. No, I just oppose the pedestal he's put on. Punk only wrestles a handful of times a year. But he wrestled that whole live event tour this whole weekend. He wrestled matches on. I saw him in there with Gunther. He got his ass kicked in that match. He got brutalized in there. People saying Punk won it. How you doing, Army in Morocco? There we go. Cracking the African continent. Thank you so much, Army. And I love when people tell us where they're watching from too. Can Kevin do the? Why does everyone always want me to do Dr. Evil? Oh, because I have the bald head, and do the chicken dance. No, you only get the chicken dance if you do a YouTube membership. We'll do dances on that. Like when people do that like weird TikTok thing where they get all the anime girls be like, ice cream, yum, 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 yum. Like, they do that stupid stuff. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Other people bringing up here, Roman level push. I don't know who you're talking about there. I don't know exactly. He's like, Punk wins, Seth turns heel, and eventually he joins Drew McIntyre. That'd be wild. Of course, we're getting Rollins versus Punk. Who wins that match?
You could go either way with this first one because this is not going to be the end. Like,
it's got to be clean. It's got to be clean. It's got to be a clean. It's got to be a clean thing here. I think you do too many. I'll say this. This isn't a shot at Punk. He is wrestling smart. He's not wrestling like a full go style. He's a guy who's been through a lot of injuries in the past couple of years and was away from wrestling for a long time. But you could tell when he was wrestling with Drew, he would wrestle a style to modify what he's doing. And he still does like all of his classic stuff. He still does the high heel kick. He still does the running knee. He still does the bulldog. He's still doing that. How you doing? Shout out to our new member right there. Ozzy, how you doing right there? That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see right there. $2.
That was the chicken dance
all right,
question.
You get $2. You get the extra content here. A whole bunch of extra stuff. Maybe if we do some YouTube membership specials for the Rings and Rambly boys, we'll do some extra stuff on there as well. We'll see what happens. But thank you so much. Starts at $2. There's different tiers. You get a whole bunch of extra content on it, some extra shows every single week. Go check it out. Thank you so much, Ozzy. You've been so supportive, and I deeply, deeply appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Ozzy, we're on the crazy train with him. Yeah. Other people bring up, all these different things with Netflix and all that. My expectation is they got to have a good match, though.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like if you go, like if it's just a schmoz finish, I'm gonna be like, oh come on, you know, there's gonna be a bunch of angles on the show, you know, there's gonna be a bunch of video packages and things to get people that are casually watching Raw for the first time. Like, oh, I have Netflix. I only watch TV on Netflix.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And they turn it on and they're like, oh, okay. Oh yeah, The Rock's here. Oh yeah, John Cena.
Right.
Why do I? And there'll be a video package to sell this match to people that haven't seen it. You know, AEW, for all the critical things that I watched their show, and I got to see half of it. I haven't seen all of it. I know what they did, though. They did a lot more video packages on the show.
Yeah.
A lot more video packages.
Yeah, they did.
Because they knew, hey, we're on HBO Max. We're going to reach some new people here. Or some people are going to be watching the show. Maybe they haven't watched in a while. The lapse fan, I think that's going to be a big thing for WWE is people that watch before. Oh, you want the chicken dance? Yes, you did do it. Pinky on the lip. Pinky on the lip. Nick, here we go. $1 million. There you go. Thank you very much, Michael. So also Michael Cole, Pat McAfee back on the call for Monday at Raw on Netflix. It's got to be a big deal for them. And exciting to see them paired back together. Been exciting. The modern day Bobby Heenan, Gorilla Monsoon. I would love to see them back together. So much on this Netflix show besides Punk and Rollins. That's my number one thing that I'm looking forward to. You're going to get John Cena. I think we're going to find out. I think John Cena is going to come out and say he's in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, he's got to. He's going to declare for the Royal Rumble this time. You know, everybody knows he's going to be there. He's going to get a huge pop, but he's got to be there for a reason, right? He's got to declare for something. He's either going after something or he's entering the Rumble. It's got to be the Rumble. It's got to be the Rumble.
It's got to be the Rumble. Now, there is heavy discussion that The Rock is going to be on the show. What does The Rock do? The Rock alluded to doing something with Cody Rhodes the night after WrestleMania when Cody defeated his bloodline brother and his family member in Roman Reigns. Does The Rock get involved in Rock and Reigns versus Solo? Does The Rock go face to face with Cody? Cody has business with Kevin Owens at Royal Rumble. It seems like he's already set and locked in with that. What do you do with The Rock? How do you does The Rock come out and say he's in the Royal Rumble? You know, there's a lot of discussion about whether or not he'll be available for WrestleMania 41 because he has to do reshoots for this live action Moana movie. So that could mess up him. He's on the TKO board. There's been discussion that him being on that board, part of him having a stake in the company is, well, we got to get you out there performing a little bit. You know, we got to get some of the Rock stardust out there in the ring. What does The Rock do on this Netflix special? And he's got to do more than just come out and, you know, film an Instagram video with sound in the background or something like that. And, you know, so what do you think he does?
You know, initially I thought that it was going to be he comes in and, you know, asserts his dominance as he's the real tribal chief, comes out there, wreaks havoc on Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. But, you know, you made a great point there. He does have history with Cody. Cody's going to be there. Maybe Cody's on the mic and then he gets interrupted by the final boss who comes out and says, hold on, we ain't done yet.
It's too much of a distraction for the business you have with Cody.
It is. So I'm going to stay with my original and say that he will come out and interfere in the bloodline match, for the Ulafala. I think that he's going to end up with it at the end of it all. I think that he'll put on the tribal chief.
Then you got to do. Then you're doing Rock Reigns. You're doing Rock Reigns.
Yes. Yep. That's where
I dispute some different things here because we've heard multiple plans for Roman Reigns and a CM Punk match that people want. So you'd have to get rid of the Rollins business before WrestleMania. Reigns would have to get rid of his business before WrestleMania to set in line with that. You know what?
It's a lot.
We don't know what's going on with WrestleMania. It feels very, very fluid. And I know there's this sense of, well, if The Rock's there, that messes up the whole card. And it will. But it's also a good problem. This is one of those things where I'm like, I kind of think it's a good idea they have 2 nights of WrestleMania now.
Yep. So. Perfect. I mean, it's
and then other people bringing up the reveal. Byron Cutler, who's a big gamer, he has the PlayStation, buttons as his avatar. He's from 2K Next makers. 2K25 WWE's video game reveal is happening on January 6th or January 20th. And the next makers are calling it Make or Break for rumor. Oh, to create a story. A lot of the gaming culture I know is ramping up for this time of year. But WWE has so many things to promote right now. And I think you can only market so many things. You know, like the Netflix move, you have Royal Rumble's still on Peacock, you have SmackDown going to 3 hours, you have Raw going to 3 hours. You're not doing any live house shows until March, which I think is smart, by the way, too.
Yeah.
So you have all these things. I don't know if they're going to sneak in a video game there. I don't know if they're going to do that.
I could see it on the San Jose episode on the 20th. I don't know if we'll get it on the 6th. I mean,
are you going out to that one? Right? Oh, it's not too far from you, right? You're going to head out to that one?
Yes, I will be there. I cannot wait. I was trying to get to the LA one because my brother lives down there, but tickets, like you said, have gone really fast.
What were you looking at? What were the prices you were
I mean, it was insane because it's LA #1. It was at least like 300-400 plus when I was looking at it, and
I can get to Rumble in Indianapolis. I'm in Chicago, right? It's a train ride. I think it's like maybe a $30-$40 train ride. That's awesome. I could get a train ride out there, and there's somebody I know, and they're like, "Hey, we could do the Airbnb thing." I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." I was looking at prices. Ooh. But then you also know this with the secondary market, and wrestling fans are going to get mad about this. You really have to pay attention to it. Like if you buy at the right time, you save significantly. You know, there's some people that get close enough to the event, and they're just like, "Hey, I just want to make enough. You know, I want to make enough of the ticket and some profit margin back." And you'll find out what you're looking for. You know, you'll find out what you're looking for.
I'm still holding hope. I mean, it's Thursday. I have a few days. I could drive to LA in 6 hours.
Okay.
I'm still holding hope.
So we have all that. People saying, will Brock be back on Raw? No. Nope. I asked about Brock a lot, but Brock is tied to the entire investigation. Until that is settled, or at least he is absolved from that in some way. I know he's not accused of anything particularly illegal, but certainly some things that are disappointing to hear. I can leave it at that, right? So the severity of what he's accused of, by the way, is not nearly what McMahon is. I don't want to bring that up because of the way things get buried on algorithms, and they bought us up. Right. Do we know any potential for a host for WrestleMania 41? I don't know, but there's a ton of celebrities that WWE works with.
Yeah.
It usually tends to be a role they'll give someone who's over. They did it with New Day one year when they were like red hot, but they didn't have a match, you know, and they did it with The Rock. You know, way for The Rock to be involved. Viva Rock Vegas, you know, they could do that, make them and if The Rock is the host of WrestleMania, I don't know if that sells it because they've done it before. Stone Cold.
Wow. Yeah, he's a Nevada guy. He's got his ranch up there. You know, it's
and he is flat out said, I'm more intrigued by WrestleMania in Las Vegas than I was last year. You know, like, and I was like,
there you go.
Okay, there we go. Ozzy, who's a YouTube member. Once again, you guys can get your YouTube membership starting at just $2. Go ahead and do that. Bunch of bonus content. Just go check out our main YouTube channel while you're watching us here, and you'll see what's offered. Will AEW drop the price on pay-per-view on Max? There's still no word on this. At least no concrete word. So All Elite Wrestling is going to be, they're on HBO Max. I still call it HBO Max. And they're on Max. You get the show in English and Spanish, by the way. When I tried to watch it on demand, it came up in Spanish for some reason.
Nice.
But you get Collision and you get Dynamite on there. Now they will be offering live to a huge, much bigger audience. They'll still be on traditional pay-per-view outside the United States. You'll still be able to get it on Triller as well. But you'll be able to get it on a Max, and that is going to be a bunch of different markets, but the price will be lower than what a normal pay-per-view is. That's all we know.
Yeah.
How much lower? No idea. Now, it's about $10 a month now with ads. You can get a premium tier with no ads. But you get the weekly TV shows. But much like ESPN Plus, you're still going to have to pay for the pay-per-view. So it isn't like you get the pay-per-views for free. But they're offering some of their past pay-per-views. You get all the 2019 pay-per-views and Dynamite episodes and everything they've done this year so far and everything they did in 2024. That's all on Max right now. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a significant way to roll everything out. They're not giving you everything at once, which I think is smart. Roll things out. And then once you drop new things on, you're like, oh, we just dropped our best matches from this. You know, like that type of thing. Also because you have names that are in WWE, drop those matches.
Yes.
I tell people that run into, I work for AAW. We have a bunch of matches with people that have headlined WrestleManias. And I was like, before WrestleMania, we should do the best of people that have been at WrestleMania that have been at our place. We should do that. But we'll find out soon. See if there's AJ Lee versus Becky at Mania. Wow, that would be a hell of a match.
Did they set that up with that
We're gonna
promo?
do we're gonna end the show with predictions. So we'll do
Okay.
questions first. Is that cool with you?
Yes,
We have
definitely.
questions kind of coming in here. I don't wanna mess up everything here.
No.
What up? What do you think of the name Cope for Adam Copeland? This was done on last night's AEW Fight for the Fallen show. He came out, he opened the show, he had promos in the middle of the show. He called Big Bill stupid. You have a stupid face. He's from Asheville, North Carolina. There was a big charity time for the show. Shout out to everyone who's dealing with the hurricane, still dealing with the hurricane. I know some people that just had their water advisory lifted months after the hurricane.
That's
how bad
crazy.
the piping was doing there.
Wow.
So he was on the show. He was in the main event, tag team with FTR. They were successful defeating the Death Riders in a 6-man tag team match. What do you think of his name change, though, to Cope from Adam Copeland? I refuse to call him Cope. We were having a hard time getting used to his real name and the change. Oh, the change. Wrestling fans hate the change. Would you rather call him Damon Striker?
They call him
Damon Striker. What in the 2012 NXT names are you thinking here, dude? Damon Striker sounds like a lame G.I. Joe.
Hey, that's
G.I. Joe. Not that guy. Not that guy. This feels a bit forced.
Yeah.
I don't get it. He was introduced as it. It was a major distraction to have, and the commentary was Cope.
Yeah.
Cope.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, with Gen Z slang, Cope is not a thing you want to be called. So, but I get where his name is Adam Copeland, and maybe his friends call him Cope. But me, as a wrestling fan who's watched him on TV for almost my entire adult life, I know him as Edge. Okay, I get you don't have the name Edge. Rated R superstar, Adam Copeland. That's okay.
Yeah.
And if some people occasionally call him Cope, all right. You know what I mean? But just one night, he comes back. We haven't seen him. He comes back at the pay-per-view a few days ago, and now he's Cope.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
And it's distracting.
Yes.
Like it's just because it's like he's back and he's coming for John Moxley. That's a big deal.
Yes.
He's 51 years old. He looks incredible. This is a 51-year-old man that looks incredible.
Yes.
This is the guy who shouldn't be wrestling.
No, not at all. Especially after that last injury.
The neck injury, dude. He's had 3 neck surgeries. Triple fusion neck surgery.
Terrible.
Bumping and feeding.
Yeah, I'm not with the Cope. I'm not with it at all. I was fine with Adam Copeland because he couldn't bring Edge over. But Cope, nah. Why? I don't even understand why.
And it just feels so counterproductive because I don't think I would care about it, but it was the number one thing I saw people talking about after the show.
It was overboard.
I don't control the narrative. You know what I mean? I just jump into it.
Yeah, that's all I could really think about when I was watching the match was the announcer, Cope. Like you said, I was just like, oh my God. I was like, I can't get used to this. I don't know. It was distracting, like you said. That's all I could think about on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Everybody was like, oh, Cope. I don't know. It's definitely taken away from the guy himself.
Calling him Cope reminds me of the movie Mean Girls. Have you seen Mean Girls?
Yes.
When Lacey Chabert, I always love Lacey. She was a big crush of mine. A party of 5? No, just a party of 2. Just me and Lacey going to the winter formal. She does that line in Mean Girls where she starts to try, as a teenager, to create the idea that fetch, that is so fetch, like this is a fetching thing, that fetch is a thing. She's trying to create her own slang word fetch and get people to start calling it. And Regina George, the meanie, I think Rachel McAdams, I think is the actress who plays her, turns to her and goes, stop making fetch is never going to be a thing. Fetch is never going to happen.
You hit it on the nail right
there. I don't want to say that about Cope. Like, Cope isn't going to happen, dude. Cope is the new fetch. You tried. But the thing is, it's his name. And I bet there's people that call him Cope. But I've never called him that. And
No.
now I'm supposed to call him that?
No. Yeah, and out of the blue too. It's like, come on. Next week I want to see Adam Copeland. I don't want to see Copeland.
Maybe it's going to be like when Dolph Ziggler that one week showed up on Monday Night Raw and he had jet black hair.
Yeah,
and everyone's like, nope.
No, not with
And,
this.
and the whole conversation, and that was like when he was like trying to become a world champion and stuff like that, and he was like right near the top, and he was like, nope.
No.
Next week, right back to Platinum Blonde, baby.
He did. It was so
Remember, it was like 1 week, and he saw the response on like, no, this isn't over.
Yeah.
No one likes this at all. We're not doing that.
Oh, it's perfect.
I would love to see Rated FTR win the Trios Championships. I think it'll happen soon. Do you agree, Nick?
I 100% agree. I think that's the way that they're moving with this right now. They came out together. Make it happen. Put the belts on the three of them. They're all legends. They've all deserved, they deserve more than that. But yeah, put the Trios Championship on them. It'd be great.
Nathaniel, also being a smartass, says, I love Cope. Can he change it to Coke?
Okay. Like cocaine? Like the Kane. Sorry.
No, there already is a cocaine wrestler.
That's what I mean.
Have you seen Cocaine?
Yes, and that's what I was referring to. Sorry, not.
What a one-note joke, dude. I'm sorry. I work
yeah.
I work on the indies. I work with AAW. Had a great time recently. I did commentary on a recent show on the 28th.
Yes.
What a wild weekend I had since the last time you and I talked.
Yeah, it's been
It's been
a while.
I didn't sing week. And we were joking about characters like that and stuff like that. So yeah.
Blue
what
and all that. Yeah.
Predictions. We're in a new year.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that? Did you wake up? Maybe you've been sleeping for the last day and a half. We're in a new year.
Crazy.
So we should write these down, by the way. I have mine written down, and I want to know yours. We have 6 wrestling predictions.
Ooh.
All right. And I want to know your wrestling predictions as well. If you're watching on demand, if you're listening on demand, you're on the podcast side of things. Thank you so much for putting us in the top tier of wrestling podcasts in the United States. I really appreciate that. Your wrestling predictions. I want to hear them. So, Nick, why don't you start us off? What is your first wrestling prediction for 2025?
Well, we were talking about it earlier, and I wanted to open my present a little early, so I'll just get right to it. And it's kind of an open prediction here, but I think that Liv will drop her title to Becky Lynch, not Rhea Ripley, and Becky Lynch will win the Royal Rumble to get to that match.
Oh, so they'll do Liv and Becky at WrestleMania?
Yes, that's what I'm calling.
Yeah, because Becky's already won the Elimination Chamber to get to Mania. That makes sense.
Yeah,
I could see that.
That's just my my first one.
Speaking of championships, my first prediction, and this lines up with some things we've seen reported from our very own WrestleVotes. Shout out WV and TC. Get them on the Backstage Pass on Patreon. And Cody Rhodes. He's not going to be Roman Reigns with that title for years and years and years. He will lose the undisputed WWE Universal Championship within the calendar year of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who he will give that title to or who will take it from him, I don't know. But I don't think we're going to be here at the beginning of 2026 talking about him being the champion. Maybe he has won the title back at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see him keeping the title for the entire calendar year. What do you think?
I'm with you on that. That was actually going to be one of mine, so I'm glad I have an extra one. But yeah, I'm completely with you. I think that we're in the era now. You don't need a champion to hold it for 3-4 years. You want to.
No, you did it with Roman, and it was long enough then. It made sense with the pandemic to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
To give fans that were with you the whole time some payoff. It made that. Some people saying, Kevin, does he lose it to The Rock? I've heard some people say if The Rock really wants to come back and you really want to make The Rock a big deal and you already have another world champion, you have the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
The Rock comes in, he pulls a Mr. McMahon. He's the new Mr. McMahon. He's the new corporate guy. He can make any match he wants. He can come in and just say, I'm going to have a title shot right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
And yeah, that's the authority that he's got.
If anybody wants to oppose it, no referees want to come out here. Well, guess what? You're fired.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I think that'd be a great way to go with it.
That's a whole thing there.
All right.
Other people saying I think John Cena will win 17 championships.
Let's just go into it. That was my next prediction. So Nathaniel,
his final year in the ring. So
Yeah.
this is this has been promoted for months and months and months. He will be back with WWE, making a limited amount of appearances, but he will have a limited amount of matches and appearances with the company. And people are saying he wins 17 championships. He has 16, so the kayfabe number. Ric Flair technically has more than 16. So the kayfabe number, though, is 16 times a world champion. Woo, Ric Flair. And that he could break that record. Now, I think Triple H was within 2, was like 14.
Is right
and
there.
Randy Orton's around that number as well.
Mm-hmm.
But John Cena has tied that number. And when he did, they had him pose for a picture with Ric Flair. And they acknowledged the history. And Triple H is all about acknowledging history and using it as a point to sell a match, not ignoring it. And this whole thing is going to be reflective. The whole trip of John doing this here is reflective, but also giving you a lot of nostalgia with something new. Nostalgia building to something you can only see once. You can only see someone break a world title record one time. You can only see the Undertaker streak end one time. You can do retirements over and over again, but you cannot make these moments again.
Right.
So, and John Cena is all about making moments. And I agree with you on that, Nathaniel. I think it's going to happen. This is one of your predictions as well, right?
Yes, this was exactly what I was going to go into. So Nathaniel, we're thinking alike here. I don't see how they can't do this. I know that they can't, but John Cena's coming back for his final run. He's done so much for this company. He carried him on his back for years. He was the face of the company for how long? I mean, he was the superhero before Cody Rhodes and, after Hulk Hogan and all that, but he was that guy. He was the face of WWE. And I think they're going to reward him since he wants to come back and have a final run, do kind of, that final tour deal, put the strap on him one time at least. It doesn't have to be for a long time, but let him break the record. They're tied there. You got to do it. You got to do it. John Cena, 17-time world champion. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. Here's one of my predictions. I'm running the StreamYard on my end, so that's the reason I have this written on the screen. Staying on John Cena. Maybe this is a little bit of an easier prediction, but getting into the details, the nitty-gritty of what you can see.
Yeah.
John Cena's retirement tour will be a massive success.
Yes.
Anywhere he goes, as we've already seen, he's going to be at the Toronto Elimination Chamber coming up in February. The last time you get to see him. The last time you get to see John Cena in a ring. Anytime he appears on WWE television in a major city, it will be sold as the last time you get to see John Cena here.
Yes.
I was at the WWE live event on the 29th. Great, fun show. 12,000 people for a live event, a house show. Gunther, CM Punk in the cage, schmaz finished, Dominic interfered, send fans home happy, Dominic gets beat up. Clips up on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube, or Instagram rather.
Yep, saw that.
Fun stuff. It was a fun match.
Great.
I knew what it was. It was a house show. They give you the happiness of it. Guys went out there and beat the crap out of each other. There was blood. There was blood on a house show. It was fun.
Nice.
Not too much blood, but enough. So, discussion amongst people though is they do this when you've been to a live show, right?
Yeah.
They go to a live show and they tell you the next time they're going to be either in that town or somewhere near it. For you guys in North California, they'll tell you, by the way, we're going to be in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You want to make the trip down to Los Angeles? We're going to be there in like 3 months.
Yep.
When they're here in Chicago, they tell you the next time they're going to be in Chicago. And technically they're announcing the date. That's usually when they announce the date because they know they can at least sell some tickets from those fans.
Yes.
I was almost like, would they announce like, hey, John Cena's final WWE in-ring appearance is going to be here in Chicago, where he debuted, by the way, on the main roster.
Wow, yeah.
I think he's got to have a big show in Chicago. He's got to have a big show in New York. All right. He's got to have big ones. He's got to have a huge one overseas.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, you have a handful of those matches. So that's where they are. Now, who those matches are with, that's another thing. There are 4 names I think he has to do some type of business with on this final run.
Yep.
And they're all names that he's done business with before, except for one. Him and The Rock. Now, can they have a match? I don't know. That's really hard to say with The Rock's status. And also John Cena's status.
True.
He's got to not be injured in these matches to be able to get through this thing and make it count and sell it as a gauntlet. Can he do this entire tournament run? He's going to, like, it's almost like a tournament of him versus the world, right?
Yeah.
And can he get the title? Him and The Rock, they have a lot of magic, a lot of history, 2 WrestleManias together. They made a lot of money together. That would be cool.
That would be really cool.
Ton of history between him and Randy Orton.
Oh, yeah.
They had like too many matches together. Yeah. But because this is the final run,
you need it.
I think one more Randy Orton John Cena match would be great.
Agree.
A ton of history, antithesis of characters, the anti-authority character, the ultimate, I'll be the face of the WWE, but I'm going to do it my way. And John Cena saying, I'm going to do it the right way, the way it's supposed to be done, the way it's been done before. The valiant superhero. Salute. It was CM Punk versus John Cena. I was at that Money in the Bank match. It is one of the best 2010s WWE things they've ever done.
Yeah.
Like that. Come on. You know what I mean? Like, they could do a bunch of promos and then they get to the match, and the match doesn't even need to. Like, that's another thing, is the matches don't need to be better than other matches he's had. They just need to be good for him in 2025. Right. I think people need to adjust that.
Yes.
But the other one that I've heard some people talk about, Cody versus John Cena. We haven't seen it. They've probably done a singles match, right?
Probably, yeah. Back in the day when he was
with American Nightmare Cody.
Yeah, not American Nightmare Cody. Nope.
No. That was Junior Varsity Cody. This is Varsity Cody.
Yes. Much different nowadays.
What do you think?
I agree with those. I think that they would all be bangers for sure. You got to have Cody or not Cody Orton. You have to have Cena Orton. Like you said, they just have so much history. I would love to see every single one of them right there. But it would be interesting to see Cody versus John Cena. Who's the good guy? Who's going to be? I mean, it's got to be Cena, right? Because it's his final tour. But you're going to have these younger fans who are such huge Cody fans, kind of, who do I root for? Who do I root for here? So is it too much of a heel versus heel, or not heel versus heel? Sorry, babyface versus babyface, or do we see
sort of a darker side of one of the characters to get there?
Yes.
You saw Shawn Michaels do this a handful of times where he would kind of step outside of being that to step back into it,
Right. Yep.
And if you have a good enough character that has people just care about enough, you can get away with it a little bit.
Yes.
And you can just have people be like, I'm annoyed that you're talking about John Cena. They kind of did it with Punk to some degree,
Yeah, a little bit.
And when Punk was still a heel when they did that 2011 match. But people were just losing their minds and loved how much he was disrupting everything,
Yes.
So there's that case. Steve Sear with a prediction. With WWE's women's division so stacked, will there be an all-women's WWE premium live event? This has been talked about for years since they did the Evolution card, which ran an arena in Uniondale, and they did well with it. I believe it was certainly something they did to get people talking about WWE changing the way they present women. And they were already there, but this is just a solidified, we're doing the historic all-women's show. What it isn't is more what it is. WWE certainly has enough of a platform to do these type of things. They can do this, and it can be the way you do, kind of like it's within the spectrum of things we do, but it's like a Saturday Night's Main Event. It's not a premium live event. It's that. I could see them going that route, where it isn't exactly a premium live event, but it's here. We're going to do it as a special on TV. Or we're going to do it as something of that regard. I think I'm not saying it's going to be a Saturday Night's Main Event just for the women, girls' night out or something like that. I'm not going to say that, hey. But I think they could do something very special with that.
Yes, 100% agree. The women's roster is stacked now. I could see them going in that direction and involve the women in NXT as well, not just the main event roster, the main event roster, because, the women are doing great things down there. Shawn Michaels.
They added belts.
Yes.
They have mid-card titles.
Yes. So I could see this happening for sure.
Mm-hmm. Ozzy with a question here. How long will the US and IC titles for the women last? Hopefully a long time. I mean, the women's tag team titles have been up and down, and they went away when Sasha Banks and Naomi left. And Now you have the injuries, and they're there, but they're not as big. You know, I'll say this too with WWE. This is one of my predictions. I'll jump to another one of my predictions here.
Let's go. It's time.
This one plays into a depth of titles.
Okay.
It plays into the greater picture of professional wrestling and where WWE lies within it. A company that now uses the word sports entertainment and professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it this past weekend in Japan with Pro Wrestling Noah, where Shinsuke Nakamura, the WWE United States champion, defended that title on a non-WWE show, or at least as a champion did that. Omos, who's under contract, who's really lost in the mix, won the Noah tag team titles.
Mm-hmm.
Non-WWE talent will continue to partner with more outside promotions. WWE's doing this with the ID program. They have independent talent. They're kind of just locking down as a prospect. They're not completely signed to the company, but they're supported and developed to the point where maybe they can sign with the company in the future. NXT is working with TNA. That has happened. TNA is doing a bunch of major events in 2025 in arenas with aspirations. Their very own Tommy Dreamer saying this on SiriusXM this past week, that TNA will play to 10,000 people at a live event. I'm not thinking they don't do that without the involvement of a significant, we'll give you this guy, we'll give you that guy. And we want them to get a little bit more shine. We don't have the platform for them to do it here. Partner with more promotions.
I agree.
WWE being more involved with the hardcore fan and saying, hey, we know you're there. We're not ignoring it. We're not saying it doesn't exist. We know what it means for our business overall. I think that means something. I think it's special. I think it's unique. If they're not going to do NXT Europe like they said they were going to, that's gone. We haven't heard any discussion about that, but they're doing more premium live events overseas. I could see them doing more things like that. And also when I talk about other promotions, it's other things that aren't just wrestling that you'd be surprised that they would work with. Yeah. All right, we're going to do championship belts with this league. We're going to do this, you know? We're going to have more of our talent on a TV show you wouldn't expect them to be on, you know? And those are all things you see them doing, but them working with outside promotions, like a TNA, specifically TNA. I see, especially if the TNA is going to try and do more really big events. If you go and say, we can't get the Wyatt 6 versus Final Testament on our next premium live event.
Whoa.
And by that, I also I think you're going to see more Raw and SmackDown people do NXT stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like the depth they have. You got to make those people happy. You know, and if NXT is kind of the outlier conduit to all those different things, that would be cool. The ultimate forbidden door for WWE to go through would be to work with New Japan Pro Wrestling. It seems like they have an agreement right now with Noah. New Japan has a locked-in deal with AEW. They're having huge matches this week in the Tokyo Dome. I don't see that changing. But WWE is doing Backlash in Mexico.
Yeah,
and true. That's a huge show that's going to be in Mexico City. I think it's going to be another wild one. Right after WrestleMania, and I could see WWE doing something big with one of the Lucha promotions.
I was going to ask, is that where they're going? Is that?
But they have working agreements. Kind of one of them, to some degree, there's some conflicts with AEW. That would be wild to see.
It would be very.
My prediction is that. What's your next prediction, bud?
Okay. I'm gonna keep this one in WWE, and this is just, you know, maybe not so bold, but I think that Jacob Fatu is going to have a big year, and he's going to win the Intercontinental Championship this year and hold it for a good amount of time.
That's a good prediction.
Yeah, so that's
there's so much hype behind him.
Yes,
you know, there's so much hype behind him, and he is such a guy who says so little but says so much when he says it.
Yes,
and physically looks different, and I think people really respond to it, and he has a captivating sense when he's on television, and people before he even debut, really, he's already cooler than Solo.
Yeah, that's what people. I know he didn't even make his face up. He didn't even make an appearance yet on WWE.
No, I mean we had people at Sportskeeda telling us, "Oh, he's going to win the championship at WrestleMania." I was like, "Whoa. There are a lot more people that are more over than him." I'll say that too. Yes. That are way ahead of him in the line. People, here we go. I would love to see Jacob Fatu win gold And does he turn on Solo? Him and Solo would then have to have a program,
Yeah.
Then the Bloodline's done too, by the way.
Yes.
All right. So my prediction.
Yes.
This one, my next prediction here, significant one. I want to hear your take on this. The Rock will have more matches in WWE. Will he have a match at WrestleMania? I don't know. Here's another thing. Does he need to have a match at WrestleMania?
Ooh.
Do you add a whole lot of value to The Rock being there? If you go and say Backlash in Mexico, The Rock.
The Rock.
You know what I mean? Like, you go and add those other events that are like, B pay-per-views. You go and change the temperature on those other events, because you're going to do it with John Cena doing this farewell tour. So if you go to one of those other events where, you think, SummerSlam's going to be 2 nights this year. Maybe he does it on a SummerSlam. Maybe he has a match on a SummerSlam.
I could see that.
You can do more tag team matches with him where you're like, we don't want to have him get injured, but we still want him to be involved and have a big match. You can do that. You can do him in that position. You can do all the different combinations with that. Him having a one-on-one match is a real challenge at his age.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he doesn't want to do it and have it not look good. And he did the tag team match, and I thought he looked great, and he really leaned into charisma. He was not stop talking during that match. That's how I knew he was so happy to be there. When you see a wrestler who doesn't stop talking, they're really feeling their performance. They're not stressed out. When they're talking so much, they are dialed in. And especially for a guy who hadn't been in the ring in years. So more matches in The Rock. Where are we going to? People say, I would love to see Rock versus Jacob. See, Jacob's already jumping in front of Solo in Roman there. You guys are already on the thing here. What's your next one?
All right. This is let's see. We've done. I'm going to go over to AEW. Now, I did say that.
I'll do an AEW one as well. I have one as well for that.
Okay. Now, I did say Cope. No, screw that. I'm not calling Cope ever again. Adam Copeland and FTR, rated FTR. I said that they would win the Trios Championship, but I think that at some point in this year, Adam Copeland holds a major title. I think he's not getting any younger. Mm-hmm. They want to put, he's there for a reason. I think that they put one of the main titles on him. I know he's going to be a Trios champion maybe, but later on down the road, I think that they put a main title on him. Maybe he takes it off of Jon Moxley. I don't know. He's going for him right now, but I do see them pushing him in a huge way, having him be a big part of the company and putting a belt across him, not just the Trios belt.
I mean, also, he's a 51-year-old guy, and he's alluded to it. The matches I have are not as many as I've already had. Yes. And I can only have so many, and I'm training really, really hard, and I'm going to have, I think he wrestled twice. Did they do double TV tapings in Ashland, or do they have another live show this weekend? I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure either.
So they said, I'm going to wrestle in a 6-man. I'm going to wrestle in another 6-man on Collision. We're going to do another one. You know? So that's a lot and you count those matches when you're a guy. He's doing a lot in a short amount of time.
Yes.
More risk, more explosiveness with your body, more risk to overtrain and rip muscles and things like that at your age. It's way harder to do that, to maintain that at your age. That is a lot of discipline. When your body doesn't have that metabolism it once had, and you're a guy who's gone through what he's gone through. People with you in the comments are saying he's also going to win a championship. So my next prediction plays into your prediction, and I'm going to be a little bit more specific with mine. And my prediction is also about AEW. It is also about a wrestler who's there, but he's an AEW guy. He's not one of those ex-WWE guys.
Yeah.
See these AEW, he's ex-WWE guys. Darby Allin will win the AEW championship. He will win the world championship. A title he's not won. He is challenged for it, but I think they will put him in a position if he tries to climb Everest, like he's saying he's going to. And he's training for it. He's doing these breathing exercises where you can't breathe for 3 minutes underwater to train for this, to get your body ready for this. And this is the guy who's going to do that before he got hit by a bus. Yeah. And he talks about all these stunts and things like that. And then at some point, though, you were part of that big moment with Sting, and you had all that. I don't want to say, because he did a match with Moxley on pay-per-view, but no one believed he was going to win the title, right? And it was just a means to an end to get to the next thing. They got to give you a sense of this is the one. This is the Darby Allin, you've been with him. He's gone through class. He's bled buckets. He's been hit by a bus. He climbed a mountain. What did he learn up there? He learned something on that mountain. He came down from the mountain a different man. An already twisted, maniacal figure. But Darby Allin up on that mountain came back even more of a man. And it just writes itself, right?
Yes.
And he comes back down from the mountain. And now we have something else here, you know? And I think they could do something where he went away. He did the spiritual vision quest. He's going to film something on the mountain on a phone or something like that. Guarantee. He's cutting a promo. Hey, while you're up there, can you
fall real quick?
Don't fall off the mountain.
But just take a tumble real quick.
Tony Khan just sips a giant glug of sparkling water like he does at the, so don't injure yourself.
But yeah. Well,
we care about our channel. You want to do this, we're going to support you. But also the visual. So,
I love it.
I do have a very bad Tony Khan impression.
No, hey, I was with it. That's a good prediction. I think that should happen. That's a great prediction right there. All right,
this one is less of a prediction, but more tail end of this, and we can touch on this one lightly here. Do you have another one left?
This is it, right? We don't have any more? Or is it,
I have one more left. It's the smallest one. I should have done this one.
Same. I have a small one too, but go ahead.
You have a small one too. You want to do yours first?
Sure, yes. I just think at some point this year, we need to see a Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair feud. I think that is going to happen. I think Tiffy will cash in, and then Charlotte's going to come for the belt from her. So that's my next prediction. That
blonde on blonde violence,
and they're both
blonde on blonde violence. They should call it that.
Both got some.
That's very risky. Actually, as I said that, I regret saying that because I'm thinking of the actual connotation of it.
And we're just talking about blonde beers, okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm stupid. I just said something out loud.
No, but they're both high flyers, got great moonsaults, each one of them. I think it would be a good feud to see. So that's my prediction.
I think so too. That would be a feature match I would put on a non-WrestleMania type thing.
Yes.
Do you think she cashes in before Mania, or tries to?
Yes.
You got to do that.
Yep.
Too many things going on, and I think maybe those first few weeks, you got to make those SmackDowns that are 3 hours matter.
Yeah, you're right. Hey,
I could see her doing it right then. Yeah.
Yes.
Another WWE show that I don't think gives enough love is WWE NXT, airing Tuesdays on broadcast television on the CW, and I caught some of it, and it's a fun show. And there's some good people on it, and there's some other people on it you unfortunately forget are there. But that happens with wrestling when there's so many people that are wrestling that are talented. And then there's some people you're like, oh, wow, that person's there. Shotzi Blackheart's there. That's where she came back. She came back there, not on SmackDown. And some people who can't maybe get the go that they have somewhere else. The same way I described what I think WWE will do with other promotions, I think they should continue to do with NXT that has given it success is pump the territory a little bit and bring in some names. Ricky Starks, it's just an expectation that his deal is going to come up with WWE and he's going to sign with them. And I would put him on NXT. I would not put him on SmackDown or Raw. And I would use that momentum he has with diehard fans to make Tuesday more of an appointment for them. And do some things and take NXT on the road. They've been doing this here and there. On the road a little bit, go out. They're going to do New Year's Evil. It's going to be on the road. They did a recent show at the 2300 Arena, and they had some fun ECW nostalgia, different E thing on the East Coast. And you could do that and make those shows fun and play these smaller places that WWE doesn't play and sell a unique atmosphere that is designed for hardcore fans who want to be there when the next guy becomes a guy, Yeah. And I include the gals in that as well. And that's kind of what NXT 2.0 couldn't do because it was just about really reprogramming it, not making it the independent wrestling all-star show. Maybe go back a little bit more in that direction. There was you have Ego, Ethan Page, he's near the top of the card. Josh Alexander is available. If I'm NXT, I get Josh Alexander and I get him and Ego together and I have them remind you how cool that tag team division can be. Wow. Fraxium is a team that people are sleeping on, by the way. You could do some very fun stuff with a lot of different talent there. And the other talent that are in WWE that maybe don't have I would have the Wyatt Six there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like I would do a lot of things to make the people that feel like they have an audience go on the road and really say like, all right, we're not going to be on the road all the time, but more often than not, you know, like make those big quarterly runs, the takeovers, right?
Yeah.
Well, give me, you know, like, all right, we're going to do something here, you know, like where a big city is. Monday at Raw was here last night. Well, guess what? Tonight, tomorrow, Tuesday, we're also going to have NXT, and we're going to play a smaller place, and you guys can stick around, and we're going to sell that one out too, you know? And I think that there's something where there's pivots they can do with NXT that play off things that the TNA platform would be really beneficial for them. And so I would expect more from NXT in 2025, a bigger expansion into some things, maybe even going into Canada, maybe even going over to Europe a little bit here and there. So that's kind of how I want to end it. Do you have one more? We're done. I think we're done.
We're done. And I love that prediction. I would love to see more NXT out here on the West Coast. I know they're going to be there the Raw after, they're going to be there the Tuesday after Raw on Netflix. I was hoping to go down there for that, but I completely agree with that take. That would be huge for the brand.
I don't agree with this take. Can I just go off on somebody?
Yeah, go off real quick.
Shorty comments here. They should let Becky go to AEW. She's ancient in female wrestling years. How much ageism can you fit into one sentence? How much of this do you want? You're too old. I don't think it's fair to women. I don't think it's fair to women when you're a man and you say someone's too old. I don't think it's fair to wrestlers when you say they're too old and they can't do it either. I don't think it's fair because they made the sacrifice. They made those sacrifices. We can say somebody doesn't have it anymore and it's unfortunate and they can't go, right? And we can say that. But to say that they can't, like they're too old, so just shuffle them off to something else. Well, that means that you still think they can do something. But let them just do it, and I don't think it is good, and it's that. So it's really about you just dismissing someone because they're something they can't change that you think is less than. So now it's the new shiny thing. But the problem with that type of thinking is you will do that with the new shiny thing as well. And the moments they have with you are fleeting, when the moments they make with you should be forever and cherished and respected. My take. Don't agree with that at all. Becky Lynch is a huge star. She should stay with WWE as much as she can. There's some AEW talent that I'm worried they could lose, that they should never, like Tony Khan should never let them come back to WWE. And this is going to be a big year where he has to think about that. There's going to be some talent that's going to be available. Pentagon's going to be over in WWE next week. You know, There are going to be some people in AEW that are looking at that, thinking, what happened there? You know, but AEW got a TV deal, and that changes some things for them as well. Jericho's contract reported could be up this year. Is he going to end his career in AEW, or does he want to go back to WWE? That's something worth asking. That's more of an interesting question.
That's very interesting.
Predictions: Julia versus Stephanie Vaquer will main event NXT Stand and Deliver. That is a distinct possibility, especially if they call Roxy to the main card here. Yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching. You were with us for an hour and 10 minutes. I really appreciate that. Hopefully I don't get any emails. We're going too long, but whatever. Give us your 2025 wrestling predictions if you've been watching or listening. We'll love to hear from you. You can follow us on all the different things: Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram. We have 2 different YouTube channels. You can get a membership to this one for starting just $2, which is pretty sweet. And we'll put your comments right there to the front of the line. You get some extra cool badges and cool stuff like that if you're with us on YouTube. If you're with us over on the Facebook side of things, hit like on this thing. You can get lost in the Facebook algorithm pretty quickly. So I really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for standing by and being with us. We'll be here every Thursday afternoon right around this time. And then you can also get the audio of this on the Sportskeeda Wrestling podcast feed as well. Subscribe to that wherever you get your podcasts. Good stuff. Yeah. What do you got coming up, bud? What do you got coming up?
Well, I'm taking it easy this week. I've had a long week of family and everything out here, the new year, all that stuff. So, I'm a big game that I'm gonna watch, but we don't got to get into that. That's different. I don't got much, but you can follow me.
What's the big game, dude? What's the big game?
It's the Lions versus the Vikings. It's for all the marbles. Yeah. So, but yeah, you can follow me with all my other shenanigans that I am involved with on the X or Twitter at Nick_Harksen. You can follow me on Blue Sky if you look up Nick Harksen, and also on Instagram at Nick_Harksen. If you like reggae hip hop, you can follow my band 2-Piece Music. Yes, look up 2-Piece Music. It'll be wherever you search, and it's just me and one other guy, Jacob. We enjoy doing this. I hope you enjoy the music. Kevin, what are you up to, man?
Jacob Fatu? Jacob Fatu?
No, you know what?
Get him in.
I'm going to start calling him that.
Happy New Year to you, Steve. Thank you so much.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
I'm busy with Q101. I was just on air for like them for God, a whole lot in the last week and a half. Go check out Q101.com. You can listen to alternative rock music. I'm on there quite a bit. Quite a bit. Scaling down comedy for the month of January, but I'll be ramping up and announcing more dates. You can follow me on Instagram at KevKellam6. Want to get that above 3,000. I would love to do that in the next month or two, and do some big stuff here. Love hearing you guys. Love hearing the support. I want to expand Rings and Rambles in 2025 and do more things with it.
Yes.
Hopefully you'll be seeing more clips of the show as well. So thank you guys so much. Keep an eye out on all the streams. And remember, when watching wrestling, please do this most important thing, even though your fantasy booking, maybe even your predictions didn't come true, but please do this one thing. Take a deep breath, sip your Mountain Dew, have a bite of pizza, boo that bad guy, cheer that good guy, and do what else?
Enjoy wrestling.
Yes.